In a local economy that works for all of us in Cowlitz County on AM 1400 and 99.1 FM, KEDO. And now, Teresa Purcell.
Good afternoon and welcome to Building Bridges. I'm Teresa Purcell and today is Tuesday, January 29th, 2019. We're almost through the first month of 2019. I can't believe how quickly this is going. Today, my guest is Jen Willis, the director of the City of Longview Parks and Recreation. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Good morning, Teresa.
I'm so happy to have you here. We always have fun when you're on this show. I get the sense that you have fun pretty much wherever you go.
I try to. That's like the goal in life, I think. For everyone, it should be to be happy and to have fun.
It's good. I love your signature line. What does it say? It says, work hard, play harder,
make a difference,
and
repeat.
Make a difference, repeat. I love that. I'm going to steal it, I think. So there is so much going on with the City of Longview Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
We can just talk about a few of the kind of the big picture things and then dive into some of them. The first thing I guess I would just bring up is the whole sports complex.
Yeah, that's our newest, biggest, kind of craziest project we have going on right now, which has been pretty fun. There's been snippets of information that's gone out into the newspaper. There's been some very vocal, passionate people who've been through the process, and so being able to talk about that a little bit more today is kind of exciting.
Oh, great. So what's the story?
Yeah, so the beautiful thing is we hired HBB out of Seattle to come in and do a park plan, to listen to the community and come together with the most comprehensive park plan, trying to meet the most needs. And so they took our 60-acre park and literally planned every square inch of that park. And so
which park?
Roy Moore's Park.
Okay.
And so if you saw the price tag in the newspaper at $88 million, kind of blows people's mind away, like, wow. But that includes spray parks, and it's 3 playgrounds and a $15 million indoor facility. So they took every single suggestion, and so what we then as a city would look to see what our needs are, and then kind of pare it down from there. So if we want the best park, I think, in the Northwest, you're looking at the $88 million, because you are going to meet the needs of everyone probably in the Northwest. But the goal of it is a sports complex, but they wanted to make it kind of a community neighborhood park as well. So it had a full 1.5 mile paved trail, and so the goal was maybe if our school district would come in and do 2 of them, it could be a 5K.
Yeah.
And so trying to make sure that it met all those needs. And so we're looking at 5 softball fields, 2 baseball fields, a high school size soccer field, and a collegiate size soccer field. All turf, all lit.
Wow. That would be quite the resource.
That would be quite the resource, and there isn't much like that around here. There are other sports complexes in Lacey. There's doing some things in Ridgefield, but that's a smaller 6-field, 2 baseball, and then soccer. And so this would really be something as a regional draw for all of Cowlitz County, Lewis, Clark. Obviously, there is the Portland metro area, but those groups are also bursting at the seams with tournaments.
And also bringing people from west, from Wahkiakum and Pacific counties, Astoria, different areas. So explain to me because I know that there's been a little bit of conversation about the location of Roy Moore's just kind of off the beaten path a little bit is, and you know me, I'm always like, what's the bigger vision? It's like, if we're going to have this amazing resource, are we going to be zoning for having accommodations and
so that would
restaurants and businesses and things like that could serve the community, and how does that relate to the soccer fields, like right on, is it 3rd Avenue or 7th Avenue?
Yep.
7th Avenue soccer fields.
Roy Moore's is actually the only place that could fit the amount of sports fields that we were looking for. You wouldn't be able to do anything of that size. I think 7th Avenue is only 23 acres.
Okay.
So you're looking almost double. Wouldn't fit. Everybody wanted it at the Cowlitz Expo Center. You wouldn't fit anything close at that. So it was a larger one-stop shop for all things, with the fact knowing that West Longview still is one of the only areas you can develop.
Yeah.
And so there is the if you build it, they will come, but that would be an area, if it was to come, that it would be an area you could do all of the things, have camping, have restaurants, and be able to have kind of an area for economic growth.
And there's a lot of new housing going on out there also, which
Young
this would be
families.
another resource for those families. Because I know that there's a lot of, one of the big, I think, drivers for this is that young families are spending so much time driving their kids to Vancouver and driving their kids all over the place to try and have them have opportunities to play sports. And this would really make it so people could stay here rather than buying dinner in Vancouver while their kids playing soccer. They could actually be here.
I have friends with a Longview team who play other Longview teams in Vancouver.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so they're all driving, all carpooling, all eating, all gas related, all things outside of our area.
Yeah, so that makes it makes a ton of sense. So what is kind of the timeline? What's the plan for, and I really appreciate you, because somebody had mentioned the $88 million price tag. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. How's that going to happen?
And with the understanding also that full turf, is expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's almost as much underground work, stormwater retention, and movement as it is above ground, but with the reduction in maintenance costs. And so your question was timeline. So right now we are looking at a March, April finish of the plan. That'll be operating costs. That'll be kind of the reduction of those services. What does it cost if we just put in sports? Yeah. And then what would it look like if we were to phase in the auxiliary items? Because the goal is for a sports complex and then kind of go from there. So maybe some options. There is some phasing options, but you lose parts of the park if you phase, because you have to put in a road and you have to do some different things. But if you just focus on the sports part and then kind of put the other ones in maybe after that economic growth. And so we're looking at finishing up in April and then coming with what does a public-private partnership look like, partnerships with school district, LCC, state funding, federal funding, bonding, whatever issues or kind of, it's going to be a patchwork. It's not going to be one singular source, and it has to fully be supported by the community. Yeah. We obviously have heard from the groups that support it, but we want to know what the community as a large, because this is a large undertaking. This would be a community park, and so we want to make sure that that's what the community needs.
And it's so that in the indoor part of it, the indoor arena part, what would that primary purpose for that be?
So I think that would be some additional research. They gave us kind of a square footage, 4,500 square feet, so like an acre of indoor facility. But we'd have to drill down as to what that looks like. Is that some courts, so basketball? Is it indoor batting cages? I think that would have to be, they kind of just gave us a rough estimate if we're looking for an indoor facility, and from there we'd have to kind of fully...
And would that include like indoor soccer?
Could. It would fit in that area.
Would fit in that area.
Yep.
Because I just know that that's one of the things is like with the time of year we have and the weather we have.
So the beauty of the softball fields is that they are large enough that in each outfield they fit a high school size soccer field.
Oh, nice.
And so I have an overlayment, and so you can have up of 9 soccer games going on at once.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So the goal was to have it kind of mishmash so that it could fit everything. So you could have girls fast pitch. We will have the ability to bring in temporary fencing onto the adult softball size fields. Everything below Babe Ruth, baseball can fit on the softball fields. And so that we were trying to make sure, like on a weekend, we could have a soccer tournament in the morning and adult softball in the afternoon, and try to make it so that it's just kind of jam-packed with activity.
Oh, that's great. And just making really efficient use of all of the spaces.
Yep.
And a funny thing is, some friends of mine play soccer in Seattle at the indoor arena, and it's like they play at midnight.
The adults play really late because the kids get to go first.
Yeah, which I'm just like, wow, that's... I'm not sure I'd be up to her playing soccer at midnight.
I used to play Ultimate Frisbee at Delta Park from like 10 to midnight on Friday nights. That was our thing.
Really?
That was 10 years ago. It was quite some time ago, but it didn't seem late then.
Well, speaking of Ultimate Frisbee, is there going to be could we play Ultimate Frisbee?
Well, so you have 11
by
games.
we, I mean other people.
Well, and that would be a huge deal. So Delta Park, they usually have their championship games on their one beautiful soccer turf, and then everybody else is in the grass. So you could host a large regional draw, and they get quite a few people.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have 11 turf fields. So no matter the weather, the rain, and nighttime, we'll have lights.
Wow.
So it could be, it has the ability to put Longview on the map if it's something we decide to do.